Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we are diving into top 5 React concepts that you absolutely must learn. Whether you are a beginner or looking to solidify your skills, these concepts are crucial for mastering React. Let's get started. First up, we have the usestate hook. It's a fundamental building block for managing state in functional components. Imagine you are building a shopping cart where users can add items. Without usestate, it would be challenging to keep track of the items in the cart because React components are typically stateless. Here in this example, we use usestate hook to create a state variable called cart and function setCart to update it. The addItem function allows us to add items to the cart. When a button is clicked, the addItem function updates the cart by adding a specified item. Finally, we render the cart as a list of items. This demonstrates how usestate helps us to manage dynamic data in a React component. So in the browser, you can look like if we click on the add apple button, apple is added in the cart. Same goes for add banana. If we click on that, we will see banana is added on the cart. So let's understand how usestate work under the hood. When you call usestate, React initializes a state variable and a function to update the state. Internally, React keeps track of state variable through an array called the hooks array. Each component instance has its own hook array. When you update the state using the setup function, React schedules a re-render of the component, ensuring the update state is reflected in the UI. I want you to keep in mind React keep tracks of state variables through an array called the hooks array. So this line is important to know how React keep tracks the state variable. Next, let's talk about the useEffect hook. This hook is essential for managing side effects in your components, such as fetching data from an API, subscribing to one data streams, or manually changing the DOM. Imagine you are building a weather app that fetches and displays the current weather. Here we use usesEffect to fetch weather data when the component mounts. Fetch weather inside usesEffect to make an API call and update the weather state with the fetch data. The empty dependency array ensures this effect runs only once. The component conditionally renders the weather data or loading messages based on the weather state. This shows how usesEffect manages side effects like data fetching in React components. Here you can see if weather is exists, then we are showing the weather data like weather.location.name, current temperature, and the condition. Otherwise, we are showing the loading text. So let's understand how does usesEffect work under the hood. When you call usesEffect, React runs the effect after rendering the ensures the DOM is updated before the effect runs. This allows you to perform side effect like data fetching or DOM manipulation. Effects can optionally return a cleanup function that runs when a component unmounts or before the effect is rerun, which helps the efficient resource management by cleaning up subscription or even listener. Moving on, understanding props and prop types is crucial for passing data between components and ensuring type safety. Props allow components to receive data from their parent component, enabling reusable and modular components. Prop types help catch error early by enforcing the expected types or props. Imagine you have a user profile component that displays user information. In this example, user profile component takes a user object as a prop. Here you can see we destructure user object from props. And we use a prop types to ensure the user prop is an object with required name, email, and age field. This helps catch error early by validating the types of props passed to the component. Props and prop types are essential for building reliable and maintainable React application. So let's understand how props work under the hood. Props are input to React component. They are passed to the component via JSX attributes and are available as these.props in class components or directly in function components. React uses these props to render the component with appropriate data, ensuring unidirectional data flow. Next, we will talk about the context API. Context API is powerful for passing data deeply through the component tree without prop drilling. Prop drilling is when you pass data through many layers of component, which can make your code hard to maintain. The context API provides a way to share values like authentication status, theme, or user data across your application. Imagine you are building an app where users' authentication status needs to be accessed by multiple components. Let's see how the context API helps us here. In this example, we create an auth context. Here you can see in line number 4 and provide a user value and functions to log in and log out. Here you can see login and logout functions and user value. The auth provider component manages the user state and provides it to its children via auth context.provider. Here you can see we have a user state and provides it to its children via auth context.provider. User profile component consumes the context using use context. Here you can see we use the use context with auth context to display user information and logout button. This avoids prop dealing and makes state management more efficient. The context API is invaluable for managing global state and improving the maintainability of your code. So if I recap, we use context with auth context to get user and logout function. And in the app component, we have wrapped user profile with the auth provider. Remember, we have created auth provider and which is accepting children as a props. And we are sending the value as user login logout function in the auth context.provider. I hope it's clear to you. So now let's understand how use context API work under the hood. The context API allows you to create a context object with a default value. Component that needs to access to this context use the use context hook or context.consumer component. The provider component, context.provider, uses the value prop to pass down the context value to its children. This ensures that the context value is available to any component that needs it. Finally, let's explore the UseReducer hook. It's great for managing complex state similar to how Redux works. When your state logic involves multiple sub-values or complex state transitions, UseReducer can help keep things organized. Imagine you have a login form with multiple fields and validation logic. Let's see how UseReducer helps us here. In this example, we use the UseReducer hook to manage the state of login form. Here you can see we have used the UseReducer hook and the initial state object contains the form fields and an error message. The reducer function handles the different action types to update the state and the handle change function dispatches actions to update form fields and handle submit validate the form and set an error if necessary. So this approach is more scalable and managing complex state logic in your component. If you closely observe in the reducer function, you can see we have a couple of action types: set field, set error, and reset. And we are dispatching the information in the handle change function with type, field, and value. So let's understand how does UseReducer hook work under the hood. UseReducer hook is similar to the usestate, but is used for more complex state logic. It takes a reducer function and initial state as an argument. Here you can see an reducer function and initial state and returns the current state and a dispatch function. The reducer function determines how the state should change in response to actions. This makes UseReducer ideal for scenarios where state logic involves multiple sub-values or complex transitions. I hope it's clear to you. To recap, we covered the usestate hook for managing state, the useeffect hook for handling side effect, props and prop types for passing and validating data, the context API for global state management, and the UseReducer hook for complex state logic. These concepts are essential for building robust and maintainable React applications. I hope this video helps you understand this core React concept better. If you found this video useful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more React tutorials. One more information, I'm creating a comprehensive React machine coding round playlist for those preparing for React interviews. You can find the playlist link in the description. Please check it out. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.